All right. I am so honored and excited that I get a chance to meet with and speak to a dear, dear person who is part of our Stream Bosses Academy community, Miss Mischelle O'Neal, the boundaries strategist. Mischelle, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanya. I'm honored that you decided or allowed me to be on your stage because girl, this is your stage and only the elite can get up here. So
Look, my thing is I want to showcase amazing and incredible women like yourself who are putting your heart, your passion, your enthusiasm about what your expertise is out into the world, and you're doing it with video. So I couldn't help but invite you to share this stage. I mean, of course.
we were going to talk about that later, but it took me a lot. Look, y'all, it took me a while to get here and this video thing, but things are clicking now. So we'll talk about that later.
We definitely are going to talk about that some. So here's what I want to do. First, I want people to get to know who you are. And I'm going to pop up your website, but I also want you to just talk a little bit about your expertise. Like, first of all, where are you located in the world?
I am located in the US. I am actually in Northern Virginia and love it here. What else you wanted to know? Just where I
I
am.
want
That's
to
where I
know.
am.
So where you are, so we're not, I'm in Dallas, Texas, so we're across the miles. We've never met in person, but I feel like we have known each other for a very long time. Like we've known, all because of video, Mischelle. But I want to hear a little bit about your journey to getting on camera. So I want to just hear first background story. Like, what is it that you do? And how did you start incorporating video into what you talk about and what your expertise is?
Well, believe it or not, I like Tanya. I'm a introvert. I really am. And so talking to people in a groups is kind of hard. And I realized that I could do that with video and not actually have to be there with the people. Now, I love the one-on-one conversations and stuff, but it's
Mhm.
a lot of hard. And this was a way that I could reach a lot and get my message out. I wanted people to know I'm very passionate. And so I wanted people to know what I did and how I can help them and where I wanted them to go. I work with busy moms and
Mhm.
I just wanted to be there for them.
So when you talk about being for busy moms or being there for busy moms, what does that look like, Mischelle? What inspired you? And was there a person who believed in you that said, hey, this is something you should do? Or what's the backstory to that?
My mom has always been my inspiration. She's my backbone. And so she's the first person. Starting at 9, I always tell the story about how she taught me to approach life. Just
Mhm.
her whole philosophy was get up, you know, get up, find what you need, whatever resources you need, and get back out there and fight. And there's a long story to that. And I know we don't have long enough, but there's a story about my mom pushing me to take care of myself and stand up for myself. And through her doing that, I was able to do that all through my life. Like in the military, I was able, especially when you're in a profession that's all men, very
Yeah.
few women in it, and having the ability to stand up for myself, to set those boundaries that you need. And I learned the hard way, the start as you mean to go on. And what I meant by that is the fact that if you let things go at the beginning, when you decide to set those boundaries or those limits, people don't take you seriously.
Yeah.
So my mother and how she raised me gave me the strength to push back. So through the military, through life, I've always had the ability to overcome, to push back. And my faith played a big part in that also.
When you think about especially busy moms, was your mom one of those? Was she a busy person? Was she somebody who you feel like could have been a client of yours had she been born after you?
Absolutely. My mom, she was a mom. She was very active in the community, but she also worked outside of the home. She worked at the BX, Base Exchange, for those of you who don't know what that is. And she was, because we lived overseas, my mother was very avid in being a part of the community. And
Mhm.
so she got to know people of different nationalities and immersed herself and us into their culture. So we were always doing things with the, as you would say, the natives or the people who were
Mhm.
in these different cultures. And so yes, she was out there, but I was right with her. I was hanging on her coattails because I didn't want to miss a thing.
Mhm. Mhm. And when you think about top tips that you would give your mom or other busy moms that because you're a productivity specialist, you're a strategist who helps people to set these boundaries. What are some of the top tips that you would have shared with your mom or that you share with women now? And why video for that?
I think it's so important, one, that they capture the passion
Mhm.
that, you know, when I speak about the subject. But I think the thing is, why is it so important? Because as a mother, and even as a woman, we get so immersed, our identity gets immersed in our children. We become, I don't know if you're still in that stage, or you're not Miss Smith, you're Janet's mom or Michelle's mom
Mhm.
or Tanya's
Mhm.
mom. You have no identity. And especially when you have the real little ones, everything you do is built around this little small bundle. And so as we age, as we grow, we have to find ourselves again, and we have to find the things that are important to us. And that's a hard place to be in. And so the women that I work with at that time, they're between the 38 and the 55, and they have children that are between 12 and an adult. And so at that point, we're trying to figure out where we fit in and understand that it's more than just motherhood, that there's womanhood, that there's sisterhood, that there's wifehood. One of the
Mhm.
things I used to tell my daughter is, baby, I know she used to do the guilt trip thing. And I'm like, honey, you leaving. You you're leaving, and your daddy's still gonna be here. So
Mhm.
don't try that one on me. And that's the thing. They're gonna leave us. So we
Mhm.
have to remember to keep nurturing that relationship with our husband, keep nurturing that relationship with our friends, your neighbors, because when your children go, you still have to understand where you fit and find your place. And and a lot of us think that we're alone. We think we're the only ones that feel this way. We think that we're different, that is strange. We beat ourselves up. We deal with that mom guilt because we feel that, we shouldn't feel this way because that's what society says we should feel. And so that's why video is so important, because I want you to know, oh, girlfriend, I got you. I get you. You know, I've been there too. And so that's why video really plays a big part in this.
I think that you're hitting on to something here because I think whenever you're talking about topics that have a lot of emotion, sometimes that emotion and the passion for the topic can get lost. And it's easier to see, like you said, to connect with the other person through video because they feel like they can know you, like they really know you, and you know them by telling your stories and then showing the enthusiasm. And even just as you were speaking just now, I could see like your eyes were lighting up and the smile. So I love that you have ventured into this space and that you're using more video. What was one of the scariest things about video for you when you started?
Always wondering, it's the content thing, really. It's always feeling that I've already said it before
Mhm.
and no one wants to hear the same thing again, and that I would run out of content, that I'd run out of things to do. But the biggest thing that I'm really struggling with, but that I'm understanding, is the importance of stories. I want to give you all the facts. I want to give you the strategies. I want to tell you what to do, but you really won't get it unless I illustrate it in some type of story, or tell it to you in a way. If I told you the story of me and my husband when we climbed Mount Fuji and our pivotal point there, and if I told you about the story of my mom, you'd get the things that I'm talking about. And
Mhm.
when when we don't tell those stories, but we just um, concentrate or focus on just the facts, ma'am, which was one of my favorite shows. But when we focus on that, Dragnet, if you don't know, um, they can't emotionally attach or
Yeah.
understand what it is we're saying.
Yes. So I love that I have seen you grow over even the past year or so, Mischelle, with video. What would you say would be one of your biggest accomplishments as it relates to growth and learning and using video more frequently?
Okay, don't faint, don't faint. Okay. Uh, well, first of all, I just decided I was going to go 100% on Clubhouse and podcasts. And this year I said I would make the commitment to do once weekly video show, my show that I was doing pre-recording. I decided to do it live for 1 year, all all out, whether you're there or not. And I hope you come in and watch. But it's 6 o'clock in the morning because I want to catch the moms before they get busy. Because I know how it is once we get busy. So I have a live every Monday, and I do that. So that was the commitment. And
Love it.
even now that I'm talking, I have a habit of having teleprompter or notes, and I mean heavy notes where I could read them and do a whole show. And
Mhm.
even now that I'm talking to you, I haven't looked at my notes once, and I've got a long thing of notes here. Because you've been asking the questions, and I can't look at the notes. I don't have time to look at the notes. So
Good.
that's really stretching me, and that's growing me. And I hope to get to the point where one or two or three or four bullet points are there, and I don't need notes, that I can talk so eloquently and so fluently about what it is I want to say without having to look at notes.
I love that you have committed to doing that. And I've been telling you, get off of that pre produced, pre recorded, because I love your message. And I feel like these busy moms, if they can ask questions, if they can listen and know that you're really there for them at that time when you're recording, they're going to come back and watch replays. People will do that. But just knowing that you're there in case they want to pop a comment in, or say, you know what, I so relate, or they have questions. I love that you're going to be there for them and that you're going to get the live stream juice because you're on at a certain time on the actual platform. So is this masteringyourmonday.com? Is that the best way for people to get connected to you? And is that where they can see your lives, or is there another place?
Right now, you can catch my lives actually on, and you can always find me on all social media at Mischelle O'Neal. And I am on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, doing my lives. I'm streaming to all those platforms. So that's where you'll catch me there. I haven't decided if I'm putting it on my website yet. I'm doing a little refreshing, rebranding. And
Mhm.
so that's still in the works.
Awesome. 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 So masteringyourmonday.com, and then also find her at Mischelle O'Neal. You can see the proper spelling of her name underneath her image, her little picture there. I love it. What is one thing that you would love to actually, I have two questions.
Okay.
What's one tip that you would like to leave the audience with about what you do, what you talk about? And then my second question is going to be, why are you why are you excited about being a member of Stream Bosses Academy? So I'm throwing two in there that I hadn't
Okay.
asked on
So,
the
girl, you
pre.
know, as we get older, I can't process that.
I'm going to give you both of those in order. So first
No,
thing
I'm
is
good.
one tip.
I'm good.
No,
I'm
I'm
good.
sorry,
I'm
more.
good. So, one of the things is, you said a tip that I can give them, or why.
Yep.
I want you to realize that, and this is where what I feel my calling and my mission is all about. But I want every woman out there, especially you moms, to understand just how important it is, the calling that you have as a mom. But I also want you to know that you're so much more. And there's nothing as big as the influence and the impact that a mom has. And it starts, our impact as women starts right there at ground zero, and that's our families, our community. And everything we touch, whether we realize it or not, leaves the residue of our fingerprint. And so I want you to realize that everything you teach, everything you say, everything you show, how you show up is being passed on through your children, through others that watch you. And so it's so important to take care of yourself. When you're taking care of yourself, and I don't call it self care, I call it self wellness, because self care comes across as something very selfish. But when you're taking care of yourself and making sure that you're well, it's so that you can fill up and pour out on others. It's not just about you, but how you show up for others. So I just want you to know that taking care of your well-being is so important to your taking care of others.
I love that, Mischelle. And I love your heart for women. I love that you are able to deliver the message that you share on video. How is Stream Bosses Academy supporting you in your mission to work with busy moms? That's my last question.
You're just making me gooder and gooder, better and better. I just want to make sure that my message doesn't get lost in all
Yeah.
my passion, my excitement. Um, I'm a little abstract in my thinking, and I don't want it to get lost. And so, working through video, fine tuning content, all of this is helping me better serve my audience, better serve my what I call my crew. And I love to call it my crew because it's not my tribe. A crew is those who work together. You're working towards a end goal. And so
Mhm.
StreamYard is helping me support my crew and make sure that I can serve them in the way that they need to be served.
Wait, you said StreamYard.
I mean, sorry, Stream Bosses Academy. See all these streams. I mean, there's Funnel
A
Stream,
lot of stream.
StreamYard, Stream. Y'all got to stop.
Everything is a stream.
Stream Bosses Academy, which is awesome. I'm telling you, I have gotten more courage and confidence and do it anyway, you know, fear it and do it anyway. This time has been so much different than the other times that I've done some of the programs with Tanya. It's starting to finally click why it's not important, why it's so important. And I'm starting to get outside of myself and serve others.
I love it. And I'm so grateful that you're a part of the community, Miss Mischelle O'Neal. I can't wait to see what else you do in 2022 with video, with live video. Oh, yes.
Yay!
So please make sure that you support and encourage and follow Mischelle at masteringyourmonday.com, and you look her up on all the social spaces under Mischelle O'Neal. It is amazing that we got a chance to spend some time with you, getting to know you, Mischelle. And I just want to thank you for your heart and for the passion that you have to help people to really be better boundary setters. Thank you for that.
Yes. It's all about the boundaries.
All right. We're going to call it a wrap, and we'll see you in the next interview.